Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome again, as always, to the Hidden Upgrade weekly update. Super excited for this one, boys. This should be a good one. A lot of great content to go over, a lot of great games. We got an exciting coaches interview. Hell, I feel like we just need to get straight into the coaches interview. I'm that excited about it. So we are going to send it over to Past Matt and get you guys this coach's corner for this week. Make sure that everything is ready. Apologize. Everybody knows all about our issues with firing people and whatnot. So we got a lot of stuff we're working on in the back end, but I think we're ready now. So we're going to send it over to Past Matt for this coach's corner. Thank you, future Matt, for that intro, and welcome everybody to the Coach's Corner, brought to you by Preparation H, because no coaches like to be on the hot seat. This product is officially endorsed by Coach Eric Horn, who says, before Preparation H, sitting through a full football game was pure torture. Now I can go into overtime with no fear. So thank you, Preparation H, for sponsoring this interview. This week, on the Coach's Corner, we have the pleasure of welcoming Coach Shane Falco to the show. Coach Falco, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Well, Coach, we'll get right into it. So last year, you took a bit of a hiatus from Colorado, 2 weeks to be exact, and then came back to finish out the season. The official reason given for your departure was a family emergency, but there are many reports stating that you leaving was more due to a disciplinary action that was taken against you for allegedly colluding with the Cleveland Browns organization. What can you clear up for us about this situation?
So, based on my fans, everybody that knows me knows I'm transparent, straight to the point, and I'm as honest as I can be. When it comes to the rumors of the colluding with the Browns, that is complete and utter false. Based on the management organization and the opportunity that they gave me at the time, they explained what I can and cannot do, and some actions that I took felt were within rights, legal rights allowed to do that. And so the Worldwide League took the time to kind of ultimately vote me out, so to speak, because they didn't believe that was the right thing to do, even though per ownership of one of the owners in the league says it is okay. So I stepped away from that, but while during that time as well, there was some family issues going on that has all been taken care of with that matter.
Okay. All right. Well, we just wanted to let you clear the air, so I appreciate that, Coach. So you ended up finishing out that season 1-5, but then you bounced back this season 6-1 so far through the season. Can you speak to how you were able to make such a turnaround in the offseason with everything that was going on?
I think it's just the dedication that I have with the players, that they didn't give up on me for the time away in regards with the incident and everything that occurred. And then just hitting the recruiting trail hard and getting some very solid recruits that can have immediate impact on my team in regards with that. And then just grinding through the off season with the training camp and everything like that to get it to where we feel that we are at this moment, which is 6-1, and we feel we're in a pretty good spot.
All right, so Coach, you were 6-0 coming into your last game, including some big wins against state rival Colorado State and some big conference victories against UConn and Virginia Tech. And then last week you hosted a very tough Florida team and were seemingly exposed towards the end of the game. Late in the fourth quarter, down by 2 touchdowns, you got on the headset and told Coach Haywood to go ahead and run out the clock. I'm not going to stop it. And then proceeded to instead call a timeout anyway, which prompted Coach Haywood to just go crazy on you, scoring 21 unanswered points in a minute and a half. Which brings me to my question. Do you regret calling the timeout there, and what was going through your head during that moment?
So, again, like I said, I'm completely transparent with that. So when I initially explained to go ahead and chew out the clock, I was frustrated at the time in regards with the play calling, in regards with the back-to-back strip fumbles that don't ever happen in the game or any of my games this season in regards to that. So that was very frustrating, and it was a huge momentum shift. So when that took place, I was very frustrated, not really paying attention to the amount of clock that was allotted. And so when I said that, I thought there was less time. And then when I realized there wasn't as less time as I thought, I went ahead and, called the timeout. Again, not thinking kind of in the moment, in the heat of the moment. So emotions got high in regards with that. But again, I take full blame and responsibility that it does seem as an unsportsman-like act, and that's not what I was trying to do. And obviously, it makes sense to why what happened. The field don't lie, the players don't lie, and so the outcome was the outcome.
All right. I respect that, Coach. So during the end of the game, there was actually a little bit of controversy on top of that. Coach Haywood was actually caught live on the mic saying that he wanted a bounty put out on your quarterback, which he has since apologized for. But do you have anything to say about that whole situation?
I do not. And honestly, I feel that that's more of a compliment in regards with that because of my quarterback, how he's been playing this season. Prior to this game, give Florida all the credit in regards with that. However, if teams want to go after a quarterback to try to end their season because they're just playing really good, I have no issues with that. Ultimately, it's tackle football, not flag football in regards with that. And I don't, have any sissies on my team. So that's how we operate at Colorado, and that's how we're going to continue to operate. So if anybody else has any bounties, as long as I get a piece of it, I'm all happy for it.
Respect, Coach. Yeah, your freshman quarterback's having a huge year, so I could definitely see that. Many teams are probably eyeing him right now, so hopefully you can continue to have a great season. So let's take a look ahead to the rest of your season. You've got another big game this week against Kentucky, and then you play host to Cal and then Wyoming. That's 3 big games against 3 fantastic coaches. What are your thoughts on these upcoming games, and specifically, what are your thoughts on Coach Joey, Daniel, and Big Papa Jr.?
Again, with Colorado's schedule, we're the only team that plays 6 in-conference user games. So I feel that, plays a big part in preparation for these big games. A lot of experience comes a long way. When it comes with Joey, Coach Joey Horn, he playing in Kentucky, that Wildcat sound comes on when he scores a touchdown. It's intimidating. It can be. The atmosphere is crazy. So I feel it's going to be a good, tough matchup, but I feel that we have the possibility to, handle and take care of business. He had back-to-back Heisman Trophy that is no longer there. So we'll see if that plays an impact on his offense, and hopefully his defense can stop my offense. In regards with the next game with Coach Daniel Sleeper, again, great coach, great team. He's taken them so far so good. Last 2 seasons, I believe, with them. Phenomenal job so far. Some tough losses this season, some big wins as well. In regards with that, I feel like he's a good coach. He can he can win any game at any moment. But just like anybody, we sometimes get in our heads, especially in this game, and make a few mistakes here and there. And so I feel like that may have, some games that he's lost closely in. But again, give him all the credit for where he's brought the team, from and to it is now. And then obviously you've got Wyoming, Coach Papa Jr., Big Papa Jr. So my condolences, Big Papa, to your father. He went out like a champ, undefeated 2 seasons. And he's following his dad's footsteps, which is remarkable. Undefeated, first year at Wyoming, which is incredible. So he's still technically the Goliath in the league. And if there was a bounty on my quarterback, there's probably definitely a bounty on Big Papa Jr. and his whole team and anywhere he goes. So in regards with that, so that's going to be a big matchup. If not, probably a pre-indication of a Big Ten championship or college playoff implications. I feel with that. So they're all 3 good coaches, and it's going to be 3 huge tests that this Colorado team is going to have to, face and see where we come out on the other side.
And everybody is so political in these coaches' corners. I like it and I don't at the same time. Sometimes you want a little bit of back and forth, but I appreciate the fact that you respect them as coaches. I did want to talk a little bit about your recruiting so far this season. This time last year, you had way more recruits. You currently only have 2 recruits committed, a 5-star and a 4-star. What do you attribute to your recruitment issues so far this year?
So they're not recruitment issues. I'm looking at it as being aggressively selective. In regards with this year, we didn't need too many as far as recruits, as far as rebuilding our depth. So this year I'm kind of going pretty big on 5-star recruits to try to help create bigger impacts with that. So I've got at least 5 more 5-stars that I'm in the running for in regards with that. And then we always have the transfer portal at the end of the season that I feel Colorado does a pretty good job handling to help finish any spots that we don't fill up in the standard recruiting.
All right, we'll be curious to see what you do with those 5-stars. That'll be interesting. So we have now reached the end of the interview, Coach, and we always end this interview with the same segment. It's called the Say It With Your Chest segment. I figured this would be a good segment for you because historically you've been targeted a lot by a lot of the people in the Dynasty. And I wanted to give you sort of your opportunity to talk your shit. If you want to call someone out, call out a team, hype up your team, say whatever you want. Just make sure that you say it with your chest.
Well, again, people can say what they want. If they attack me and my team, that means they're scared of me and my team in regards to that. However, again, as the coach, I have the utmost respect for this league, for you, the commissioner, and for all the other coaches. So I'm going to take the high road. Again, if anybody wants to come at my team, have bounties, say this, that, start rumors, that's perfectly fine. It's all part of the game. Again, I haven't, created a team that's made of sissies or anything like that, so they're not going to go cry to their mamas. They're going to show it out on the field, and I feel like our team has done that so far. And we'll get back on track from the loss against Florida and hopefully win out the rest of the season and make the Big 12 championship and possibly run at the college football playoffs to show what Colorado is made of and what we can do.
Very, very nice, Coach. So thank you again so much for spending some time out of your busy day answering the questions for us, and good luck to you for the rest of the season.
Thank you. You too.
Now I will go ahead and send it back to Future Matt for the rest of the weekly update. Thank you so much, Past Matt, for that wonderful interview, and thank you again to Coach Falco for participating in that. It means a lot that you took time out of your day to talk with us here at the weekly update. A lot of interesting things said in that interview. So we'll see if there were any different thoughts at the end of the season, depending on how the next 3 games go for Coach Falco. He's got a lot of tough games coming up. So let's get straight into it. We're probably going to hear more about that interview, by the way. So stay tuned to the rest of the weekly update because there might be some more details coming out on that Florida and Colorado game. So stay tuned. So let's get into it. Last week we have a couple games to go over. First and foremost, we got Wisconsin at Kentucky. We have Coach Eric taking on Coach Joey. Coach Joey coming out on top on this one, 42-21, and we do have a couple clips to look at, so let's go ahead and take a look at those. Looks like this first one was recorded on a potato, so apologies in advance for the quality here. Little quick crossing route over the middle there. Interesting. Yeah, I guess I did request anything, so I appreciate Joey sending in that clip. Let's go ahead and continue. That was not the only one he sent in, so let's look at the next one here. Looks like we have a second quarter situation, 5:45 left. Looks like it's the same driving down the field. Hopefully getting a touchdown here. Let's see. Quick little dump to the flat to the halfback for a touchdown. Very nice play there from Joey to get himself on the board there. And then we have our next clip from Joey. And now we are in the second quarter, 2 minutes left. Tie ball game, 7-7. Looks like he is in a pistol formation, hands it off. The halfback bounces to the outside. And he's just not going to get caught. All the way to the end zone. Beautiful run there by Coach Joey and Kentucky. And that obviously gave them a 14-7 lead. And now the next clip we are going to look at looks like a kickoff when it's now tied up again, 14-14. Wisconsin kicking the ball off. Kentucky looks to return it, I would assume, since we have a clip for it. Run straight up the middle. Oh, my God. Just a giant hole. Giant hole. Takes it all the way to the house. Wow. Crazy. And that's obviously going to give him another 7-point lead. And then the next clip we have, it is now getting a little out of hand. It is now 28-14. Kentucky with the ball in a shotgun formation. Let's see what they do here. Making a couple audibles at the line. Oh, no, don't say. Oh, is it the Joey special? Is it it's the Joey special for the touchdown to go up by 3 scores now. Starting to obviously pull away there. That's going to get them the victory. That was that game ended, like I said, 38-14. Why is this all messed up now? Uh-oh. Somebody in production is about to get fired. Because my screen is all jacked up now. Give me 1 second here while I fix this for you guys. Apologize. I don't know what this is. Yeah, don't worry, guys. Several people are getting fired for this, so apologies for this. What? I don't understand what's going on. There we go. I think we kind of fixed it, sort of. We're going to rock with it, even if it's not really fixed. We're rocking with it. All right, let's move on. Next game, we have Wyoming taking down Kansas. Wyoming getting back on track with a big victory, this time over 49-16 over in-conference rival, or not really rival, but in-conference opponent in Kansas. And then we have Virginia Tech at Cal. This was an exciting one, folks. Like, if you missed it, it is in the film room in Discord if you want to see it. We do have a few clips from the game here for you to take a look at. Let's start here with Virginia Tech having the ball. First quarter, 2 minutes left, tie ball game. Let's see what happens. Ooh, a little RPO out to Holloway in the flat there. Little juke move at the end, takes it all the way down to the 10-yard line. Great play there. So that was that actually set them up to score there. They ended up scoring, made it 7-0. And then California now has the ball. And let's see what Cal does with it. They actually scored, so 7-7 now. Quarterback dropping back in the shotgun. Little tip drill action for the interception. Runs it back. Let's see if he scores. Oh, not able to score, but does get it down to the 15. Great play there by Virginia Tech to set them up in scoring position, and I do believe they do score after that play there. So let's take a look and see what happens here. 7-7 now in the shotgun. They do not score. What a play by the user. Coach Daniel Sleeper using the linebacker. Let's take another look at that. Using the linebacker the whole way. Coach Suburban challenges him directly, and he makes him pay for it. Makes him absolutely pay for it. Big interception there in the end zone to get the ball back for his team. And then the next play, we have now Cal has the ball, still 7-7. Late in the second, there's not much time left. 14 seconds when he hikes the ball in the shotgun. Oh, wide open receiver in the middle of the field. Could not be more wide open. Huge touchdown. Huge touchdown to get them ahead 14-7 at the half. So Cal gets the ball back at half. They don't do too much with it, but let's fast forward here to the fourth quarter to see a little bit more action here. So now it is now 14-17. Virginia Tech with the ball. Another RPO, what Virginia Tech is known for. Dump off to Holloway in the flat again. Just straight up outruns the entire defense for the touchdown. So that's going to give them a 4-point lead at that point. We're going to fast forward a little bit ahead here, and we're going to look at 21-17 now. California with the ball in the fourth quarter. 1 minute left. Let's go and see what happens here. In the shotgun formation, dropping back. Oh, just hits him with the Joey special. The receiver just outruns, just absolutely outruns the corner there for the touchdown. No safety help over the top. Don't know what happened with the safety there, but Coach Daniel Sleeper makes them pay. And this was the crazy one, folks. This, if you watch the game live, this is where all the reactions on social media came from. We're gonna set this one up before we get started here. 24-24. 7 seconds left in the game. Coach Daniel Sleeper calls a play. We're in prevent defense here. Virginia Tech is. Let's see what happens. Drops back in the shotgun. Throws a deep bomb to a receiver. Oh, he's got it. And does he score? He does not score. It was so clear to watch that one more time just to see. It looked like he might have gotten in, but it was not challenged. It was not reviewed by the booth because it was under 2 minutes. I don't know exactly what happened there, but it looked like it might have been a touchdown. Either way, it was close. Either way, this game goes into overtime. So we go into overtime. We actually end up going to double overtime. They go back and forth a little bit. It ends up with Coach Daniel in this position here with down by 3. Coach Suburban Meyer elects for the field goal, goes up by 3, and Coach Daniel does this. And he calls ball game in the back of the end zone. Cal ends up getting the big victory there. Ends up winning against Virginia Tech 37-34 in double overtime, convincing fashion. We'll get into the next game for Florida, Colorado next. It's the game of the week. Then we're going to look at some clips from the LSU and Florida game, which was another great game. We're going to get straight into it here. We're going to pick up in the second quarter, 3 minutes left with LSU with the ball. LSU in the shotgun, a little RPO, dumps it off to the receiver in the flat. Receiver just outruns everybody. The LSU's just got ridiculous speed, as you're going to hear Coach Rick Dalton admiring. They just got crazy speed there, and that sort of goes to show that on that play. Next, we're going to go ahead and pull up the next clip here, which is another LSU possession. LSU has the ball down 14-7 in the second with 28 seconds left. Let's see what happens. Empty set, shotgun. Quarterback drops back. Receiver just outruns the defense. That's another example. Another example of just having so much speed on the receiving side for LSU. They got a lot of great receivers over there. Now we're going to pick up the action back. Now we're in the third quarter. 5 minutes left. Tie ball game. LSU in the shotgun. We're seeing a lot of LSU offensive clips here. Let's see what happens on this one. LSU hands the ball off to their halfback. Bounces out to the left side. Just outruns the defender, the middle linebacker. Oh, barely gets knocked out inside the 5-yard line. Crazy run there for LSU. And then we are going to pick back up here now. It is the third quarter, 3 minutes left. This time Tulane with the ball, down by 7. See if Tulane can make a play here. Shotgun formation, making some hot routes at the line. Quarterback DeBeer, known for his hot routing. Oh, wow, the corner just outran the route. He just outran the route and he got punished for it. That's all that ended up happening there. So big touchdown there for Tulane to get back in the ball game to tie it up. And now we got another tie ball game, 21-21. 2 minutes and 44 seconds left in the third. LSU with the ball, empty set again, shotgun formation, 5 wide. Oh, is this another deep bomb? Oh, but it gets picked off this time. Finally, Tulane punishes the deep ball after deep ball after deep ball that LSU seemingly was running all over them with. And then the last clip that we have from this game, we are going to take a look here, and it looks like we have a tie ball game, 36 seconds left in the third. Tulane with the ball in the red zone. Looks like a wishbone formation. Let's see what happens here. Drops back, throws out in the flat, and the halfback just makes a move in there for a touchdown to go up by 7 late in the third. All right, and that was that game ended up that way, 28-21. That's how it ended. Not many points in the fourth. There was actually a fun little stat at the end of the game that LSU did not touch the ball once in the fourth quarter, and they only had 3 plays on offense in the last 10 minutes and 21 seconds of the game. The possession time for LSU was 5 minutes and 27 seconds, and Tulane it was 18 minutes and 33 seconds. You are going to win a lot of games if you win the possession battle like that. So shout out to Coach Rick Dalton and Tulane for getting that big victory there. Now we're going to look at the controversy. We're gonna actually mute the music here for a little bit so we can get the full experience here. And we're gonna take a look at what happened. We touched on it a little bit in the coach's corner. Now we're gonna look at some clips from what happened in that game between Colorado and Florida. Let's take a listen in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mute it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stop it. Jeez. Dude, that strip was just insane. Back to back, same plays.
Yeah, that was pretty silly, frankly. I don't
never-
get it that often. Like, that was kind of crazy.
Like that blows my mind.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on. I feel like every pass in the beginning, I threw it right fucking to you.
Let me try. Ain't gonna make a difference. But
What the hell? That was pretty fucking scummy. The fuck? How are you gonna say knee it? I'm not gonna do it. All right, brother.
Well, I was saying chew the clock. I didn't.
Get the fuck out of
knee.
here. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, wow. That was cheesy.
Yeah, it built on from there. We'll listen a little bit further in here to see the next little clip from this interaction.
Wow. That was cheesy. You're gonna say knee it and then call a timeout. That's hilarious.
I said chew clock.
I've been chewing clock the whole time. That's fine. I'll hang up another touchdown on you.
Wow. And then he goes on to score not just that one time, but 3 times in just over a minute of 21 unanswered points that we talked about in the coach's corner. Let's take a listen in on this one last clip from that game towards the end here.
We got a bounty gate going on now. Told my players there'd be a nice red envelope in their locker room. Layout number 10.
Now, obviously, we talked a little bit about that in the coach's corner. That was the bounty gate where Coach Haywood put out a bounty on the quarterback for Colorado, who he has since addressed in an official statement, which we are actually going to listen to live on air right now. So let me pull up the clip here, and we'll let the clip play and let Coach Mourn explain himself and what exactly happened.
Before we get started, this coach's statement is brought to you by Wendy's. For a limited time, come try our new Son of the Baconator for $1.99. Double the bacon, double the beef. And now for our coach's statement. By now, I'm sure everyone has seen the game tape and heard the audio. I had a conversation with Coach Falco after the game, and we discussed several things. Unfortunately, this interaction was left unaddressed. In all my years associated with football, I have never experienced anything football. I'll tell you one thing. Next time we step between those lines with Colorado, they better come ready to match our physicality. We'll be looking to pick up right where we left off in that fourth quarter of this game where we absolutely destroyed them 28-0 to close it out. I do want to address my Florida team and acknowledge their performance. Not every week do they see their head ball coach lose his cool and react in such a way that we saw this past week. I have heard some questions about some in-game comments that I made about Bounty Gate and injuring other players. First of all, god damn, those field makes pick up everything. But I wanted to apologize for that. The emotions got the best of me there, and I phrase it in a way that I do regret. It was meant to motivate and galvanize my team, but at the end of the day, it falls short of the leadership that is expected from the head coach here at Florida. I take full responsibility and will take any punishment or fine that comes from the commissioner's office. Fortunately, all players from both sides came out of the game uninjured and healthy. I would like to again reiterate how proud I am of my boys for stepping up and backing up their coach as he lost his composure out there briefly. We'll use this experience to build on moving forward. This is exactly the type of response that we've been preaching about when facing adversity. We haven't won anything yet, but these boys, this team here, they've showed that they have championship DNA. As for Coach Falco, I've heard other coaches in the Big 12 giving this guy his flowers this season, talking up Coach Falco. I can't say I share the same sentiments. I came away unimpressed with how he handled himself, particularly in the last 2 minutes of the game. One of the main coaches singing his praises this year has been Junior, son of legendary coach and my great friend Big Papa Sr. Rest in peace. There are rumors that Falco and Junior have some sort of background working in law enforcement together. I'm not too sure of the details, but what I do know, I'll be gunning for both of those Bacon boys the rest of their careers. Junior will always just be Junior until he can bring a championship home for himself and earn that name, Big Papa. I'm extremely disappointed that he has aligned himself and backed a coach that takes up such Bush League tactics. The thin blue line clearly transferred to the gridiron for these two. I'll be looking forward to cooking Coach Junior Bacon and his bacon buddy Coach Falco every chance I get. This interview has been sponsored by Wendy's. Come get a Junior Bacon cheeseburger for just 99 cents.
Wow. Very strong words there from the coach. And thank you for Wendy's for sponsoring that segment, that interview. And shout out to Coach Haywood for providing those clips, providing the interview, and being willing to be the bigger man and apologize for what he did. A little bit more of a breakdown of the Florida-Colorado game. We're getting kind of long already in the updates, so we're going to kind of go through this stuff quickly. Florida obviously put on 28 points in the fourth quarter. Coach Falco didn't score at all in the second half, so not going to win many games when you don't score in the second half. We'll move on to this game, or this week's games. We have LSU taking on Utah. We have Kansas taking on Coach Eric in Wisconsin. Coach Suburban Meyer is traveling to Kansas State. Coach Shane Falco is taking on Coach Joey at Kentucky. We have Coach Big Papa Jr. taking on Arizona. Then we have Coach Haywood taking on Oklahoma State, Coach Daniel Sleeper taking on Washington State, and Coach Rick Dalton traveling to UConn to take on Coach Dusty. Let's take a look at what the committee decided this week's game of the week is going to be. It looks like it is going to be Colorado at Kentucky for this week's game of the week. Is Coach Shane Falco going to be able to bounce back after that tough loss that week? Or is Kentucky's high-powered offense going to just be too much for him to handle? So make sure you tune into the Discord to find out when that game is going to go down. Looking at the standings, a couple big call-outs. Obviously, Florida, Wyoming now solidified at the top of the list with Colorado losing, Tulane losing last week, sitting at 4-1 or 6-1 for the both of them. Virginia Tech having a bit of a fall from grace with having 3 losses in their last 4 games to be at 4-3 now. UConn obviously bringing up the rear there. And as far as the users go, UConn and Wisconsin, I apologize, both at 3-5 and 2-5, both at 1-4 in conference play. And then the top 25, Florida sitting strong at number 2 still. Florida number 5. Tulane number 5. LSU bumped up to number 9 Big deal for them. Colorado dropped a little bit to number 13, not too far. Wyoming continues to move up, 7-0 now, number 14 in the college football AP poll. And another notable thing here is that Virginia Tech has now fallen out of the top 25 for the first time in 2 seasons, I believe. It's been a while since they haven't been in the top 25. Players of the week this week, we have, as far as national-wise, Kansas State did have the offensive national player of the week. The defensive player of the week out of Colorado was just the Big 12 player of the week, but he did have 7 tackles, 3 interceptions, and one touchdown in that losing effort against Florida. And then looking at the Heisman race, we have LSU's Khalil Ingram still at number 1. His last game, he had a relatively decent game, 3 receptions, 92 yards, 1 receiving touchdown. Be a great game for a lot of other receivers, but for him, it's a mediocre game. Caden Durham still standing strong at number 3. And then all of a sudden we have Brandon Hood, the halfback out of Colorado, which jumped into the Heisman race now. So we have a few more candidates as far as user teams for the Heisman race at the moment. And then total offense, Colorado not only still in the top for the Big 12, but still at the top of the nation for offensive yards per game, 3,716 yards per game. LSU and UConn still right behind them, and Florida chomping at the bit as well. Defensive side of the ball, Florida still maintains their pretty significant lead in total defense as far as offensive yards allowed. They've only allowed 198 rushing yards. That front line is just crazy over there in Florida. So shout out to Coach Haywood. What he's doing there in Florida is clearly paying off. And then we have the turnover differential, like father, like son, Coach Big Papa Jr., plus 28 turnover differential through the first 8 weeks, which is absolutely ridiculous. Coach Rick Dalton pretty close behind with 16, and Coach Haywood also with 16. One notable thing here is Coach Daniel Sleeper, normally at the top of the list in terms of turnover differential, just plus 4 this year. So definitely got to do something to get back on track with Cal this year. And then we're going to take one last look here at the recruiting. Florida just absolutely killing it. They now have 5 5-star recruits. The rich just keep getting richer, and Florida is starting to pull away not only in the polls but also in recruiting. So clearly they're going to have a pretty stacked team moving forward, not just this year but well into the future. So Coach Haywood continuing to do big things on and off the field for Florida. And that was our weekly update. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Apologies, I just now noticed that I forgot to turn back on the music, so it's just been me talking the last bit of this, so I apologize for that. But I appreciate you guys, as always, for watching. I appreciate you for liking the videos, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff. It means a lot. And we will go ahead and announce that the week is going to advance on Thursday, the 27th at midnight, or once everybody readies up. Appreciate you guys. Continue to send in those clips. Continue to ready up when you get done with your games. And I hope you guys have a great day and an even better tomorrow. Thanks, guys.